If any of these, anybody in your caucus either breaks the health rules or counsels or endorses others to do so, would you kick them out of caucus?
The answers are yes to the first question and yes to the second question. Now, I do want to address something that has been a real controversy and growing in recent days, and that was the fact that last Tuesday night I hosted a working dinner for staff and a few colleagues in the Premier's office here in Edmonton on the deck outside my office. For the past 16 months, I have tried hard to observe the public health rules. I thought it's important for me to lead by example, but I have to admit I haven't always done that perfectly. I can think of many cases where I've been within 2 meters of people, and that, I'm sure, has been the case for the past 16 months for pretty much everybody in Alberta, the vast majority of whom have tried to follow these rules, but sometimes may have found themselves within 2 meters of others. Last Tuesday, I had a planning meeting scheduled with colleagues and staff, and because it was going to be a lengthy evening meeting, I asked that we bring in some takeout to do it over dinner. And because we had just opened that day in phase 1 to outdoor gatherings of up to 10 people, I thought it was actually prudent and better to do that meeting outdoors on a deck. We took precautions to do it in a distanced way, trying to observe the rules. In fact, we set up 4 contiguous tables and spaced chairs out. We've actually gone up and measured the chairs since this became a controversy, and apparently 4 of us were 2 meters or more between each other, but two of those chairs were less than 2 meters distance, and there's no doubt that over the course of the evening, people came within the 2 meter distance that is laid out in the public health guidelines. And I regret that. I regret that the perception this has created. Quite frankly, when somebody said, "Are you sure you should be doing this? This is in public view," my response was, yes, we're allowed to follow the rules. And I thought, if anything, it's a positive thing to show the openness at phase 1 of the Open for Summer plan with the social gatherings of up to 10 people. I certainly thought it was better that we meet outdoors than indoors. We've pretty much suspended most indoor meetings over the past 3 months since we got into the spring spike, but we have begun in recent days in the last couple of weeks since the legislature come back to have small in-person gatherings for longer meetings. And again, I thought it was prudent and compliant with the rules to do this outside. But it's clear that at some points in that evening, we were not all distanced from one another by 2 meters. And I truly regret that. I take full responsibility for this. I invited my colleagues there. I was of the clear view that we were complying with the Open for Summer rules, but it is clear that some of us were not distanced the whole night, and I have to take responsibility for that. We have to set a higher example, a higher threshold of conduct, and so I want sincerely to apologize to my colleagues and to Albertans for letting you down, for not being more careful to scrupulously follow every aspect of the public health guidelines that we expect of everyone. And so I sincerely regret that the decision that we made. We should have taken extra precautions to be distanced, and I just won't be doing any social gatherings until we get into phase 3, just to avoid any possible mistakes or misunderstandings. So I sincerely apologize again. I take full responsibility, and I hope to learn from this, as I say, in ensuring that we not be put in a position of violating the distance guidelines and the other important public health measures which remain in place until we get to phase 3.
If any of these, anybody in your caucus either breaks the health rules or counsels or endorses others to do so, would you kick them out of caucus?
The answers are yes to the first question and yes to the second question.